Good afternoon, everyone. It's a real privilege to share this space with so many leaders, exporters, and decision makers today. My name is Beatrice, and I'm the CEO of Swara AgriLogistics and Solutions Limited, and I'd like to welcome you to our Friday Export Readiness series. Let me ask you something practical as we start. If a European buyer called you tomorrow and said, "Send me your compliance certificates," would you be able to email them in an hour? Or would you find yourself saying, "Give me a week, let me check"? That question alone tells us why we are here. Because in 2025, certifications are no longer just a nice extra to have, they are your passport. No certifications, no access, whether it's to Europe or to the Gulf. And today we will look at what that passport really looks like and how you can get yours in order. So at Swara, we like to say our work starts where the harvest ends. We stand alongside exporters and cooperatives to help them preserve value after harvest, move produce through reliable cold chain systems, and prepare for the certifications that unlock global markets. When a shipment is rejected in Netherlands or delayed in Dubai, it's not just paperwork that is lost, it's farmers' income, cooperative trust, and livelihoods that are on the line. That's why our mission is very simple: to make export readiness practical, achievable, and sustainable. So, where do we stand today in Kenya? Kenya's horticulture exports earned 1.2 billion in US dollars in 2024. Yet in the first quarter of 2025, revenues actually fell by 11.2%, even though production went up. That's the paradox, right? We are producing more but earning less. Why? Because buyers now reward compliance more than they reward volume. In EU, avocados and beans have been rejected over pesticides residues. Even roses, they have been blocked due to the false codling moth. And we all know once credibility is lost in Europe, it takes years and years to rebuild. Meanwhile, Gulf markets are booming. Imports of Kenyan produce grew by 20% in 2024, especially dairy and poultry. But here, shipments are delayed or rejected because halal certification isn't recognized or Arabic labeling isn't in place. Imagine losing a multi-million shilling deal over a missing label. That has happened recently actually in Kenya. On the brighter side though, in Murang'a, a coffee cooperative earned 17.8 billion Kenya shillings in 2024. And that's what happens when farmers are organized, standards are respected, and compliance is very structured. So we are at crossroads. Incredible opportunity we have in Kenya, but very real risks if we continue to ignore compliance. If that's the landscape, then let's ask, what exactly is holding us back? Let's be honest with ourselves. In EU, residues in produce is still our downfall. A Dutch buyer once told me, Kenyan avocados are fantastic, but if they fail the maximum residue limits and morale tests, they don't exist to us. Very painful to hear, but very true. In the Gulf, poultry and dairy consignments are stopped cold because halal certifications weren't issued by the right authority. Imagine building an entire supply chain only for the goods to stall over a single stamp. Traceability is another weak spot. Too many exporters can't answer basic questions like, which farm did this lot come from? Which chemicals were applied? When was it harvested? And then, of course, the cold chain. We spoke about cold chain in our previous video, so please visit our page, our Facebook page today, and listen to that video recording if you do not get the chance to do so. Produce that leaves farms fresh often arrives at the airport compromised. That one gap alone can erase years of trust with buyers. Finally, the cost barrier. Macro, small, medium enterprises, MSMEs, often tell me certification is too expensive, we can't afford it. I understand, and yes, it feels heavy upfront. But remember, the real expense is a rejected shipment. So let's look at what is the opportunity that we have, or what are we looking at. And as the saying goes, anyway, challenges are just opportunities wearing overalls. So let's roll up our sleeves and see what Europe and the Gulf are really asking for here. In Europe, the demands are very crystal clear. Global gap at a farm level. Without it, you don't even get to sit at the table. Number two, HACCP in packhouses and processors. Proof that your handling is hygienic. Number three, phytosanitary clearance from cafes. No shipment leaves without this one. The fourth one is a strict maximum residue limits, MRL, I mentioned before. One violation can end an entire season's exports. Then there is the optional but powerful for premium shelves for those who are looking at the premium shelves. That is organic, fair trade, and BRCGS. So remember this, GlobalG.A.P opens the door, HACCP keeps you credible, and residue compliance keeps you trusted. But what about the Gulf, you may ask? Surely their rules are different. Yes and no. Let's see. The Gulf is one of the fastest growing markets for Kenyan exports, but their requirements are not less strict. HACCP or ISO 22000 for food safety is still a requirement. Number two, halal certification for poultry, dairy, and meat. And not just any halal. It must be from a body their authorities will recognize. Number three is phytosanitary clearance for fresh produce. That is also still required. And the last one is Arabic labeling with expiry dates. A small detail, but one that has sunk entire shipment. It did for a cooperative in Nakuru recently. And increasingly, Gulf buyers are asking for traceability. Major supermarket chains in Dubai and Riyadh and now want digital systems that show a product's full journey from farm to shelf. So while Europe says, show me your farm practices, the Gulf says, show me your faith compliance and your systems. Both messages are clear and both must be respected. So how do we bridge the gap then? The pathway looks like this. Step 1, KS 1758. That is the Kenya's horticultural code. It is affordable, it's practical, and increasingly enforced at the county level. Step 2, GlobalG.A.P, your ticket to Europe. Step 3, HACCP or ISO 22000, that is for securing food safety in packhouses and processors. Step 4, halal certifications, which is mandatory for animal products into the Gulf. And at every stage, strong traceability and cold chain systems to tie everything together. So the point is, you don't have to do it all at once. Phased adoption, that is step-by-step adoption, reduces the cost and complexity. Just build layer by layer, and even small exporters can compete globally. And speaking of smaller players, let me share a story that proves this. We have Bralison Invest. Bralison Invest is a startup company here in Kenya that was founded in 2019, and its founders started a small potato and vegetable export. Nothing fancy, just another SME trying to survive. They could have said certification is too expensive. It is for the big boys, but they did not. They started with KS 178 and eventually, after one compliance at a time, they scaled to ISO 22000. Very fast, so they are very compliant. A small SME still. By 2024, they were supplying European and the Gulf buyers with long-term contracts and with more produce demanded by the buyers. That's not theory, actually. That's a real-life example happening now with Bralison. And it proves one thing. You don't need to be big to go global. You need to be compliant. So when an SME tells me it's impossible, I point to Bralison and say, if they did it, so can you. So what about you? What steps can you take this month? Number 1, audit your compliance. Know your starting point. Adopt certification in phases. That is number 2. Don't try to do everything at once. Number 3, strengthen traceability. Every batch, every record, whether you have digital system or just handwritten notes somewhere, just make sure it is very clear and it's recording every batch, every record. Number 4, invest in cold chain. If you move perishables, this is a non-negotiable. Number 5, collaborate. Cooperatives and aggregators lower the cost of audits and logistics, so it is very important to collaborate. Number 6, engage buyers early. Show them your progress. Buyers respect transparency. This roadmap is what serious exporters are already doing, and it works. So let me wrap up with 5 key takeaways. Number 1, compliance is not optional. It is a very entry to the EU and Gulf markets. Number 2, certifications are investments, not costs. They open doors and build stability. Number 3, phased adoption works. Step-by-step adoption works. Start small, build steadily. Number 4, collaboration lowers barriers. Alone, it's hard. Together, it's possible. MSMEs can succeed. Bralison Invest is a living proof. So here is my call to you. Evaluate your compliance gaps, commit to your next milestone, and act now. Because every season you delay is a season someone else takes your market share. So thank you for being part of today's session. Remember, export readiness is the requirement of today, not tomorrow. And before we close, one last thing. These Friday sessions are designed for you, for exporters, cooperatives, agribusiness leaders. So I'd like to invite you, if there are specific topics you would like us to tackle in future sessions, whether it's financing, packaging, digital traceability, or anything else, please share them in the comments or send us a message. We'll be happy to consider your ideas as we shape the next sessions. And after all, export readiness is a journey we build together. On Monday, we'll announce the topic for next Friday. And until then, evaluate, commit, and act. Because the markets won't be waiting, but they will welcome those who are ready. With that, I would like to close our today's training. Thank you so much for joining. Goodbye.